What is going on YouTube? This is going to be a video that I had planned for so long and it's been requested so many times on my channel, and this is going to be a tier list video. For the new people that are just tuning in, you guys are probably wondering why I would want to listen to this person, rank these operators. And I do want to tell you that I have been champion countless times. I've been playing the game for 11 years. I've been through every single meta change, and I know like the ins and outs of every operator in the game. I'm gonna be ranking them from how situational they are, from their util, for their potential of fragging out and getting kills that you need for your team, and just in between of solo queuing and also just playing on 5-stack. And we'll go like in depth of how all these operators are played and just pretty much rank them. For those that are new, consider subscribing if you like this kind of content. I do post solo queue videos where I go full in depth on my step-by-step guides and strategies and just like the mindset of a champion when you solo queue. So if you're interested in that, go check out that series that's on my channel. And without further ado, let's just hop into this. Ace. I think this is a no-brainer. S tier. Definitely one of the best hard breachers in the game at the moment. And all the hard breachers have been buffed recently, so a lot of operators have like the potential of being, really good in those situations where you're trying to get a breach. But Ace, in my opinion, is definitely one of the best because you can throw his Ace charges pretty much at any distance. You don't have to really get up close to the wall to be able to place them. Really good gun. He had the buff where he has stuns now, and he's also 3 armor, so he can tank a lot more damage. And I definitely think Ace is one of the best if you're solo queuing. If you want to play a support player, just hop on Ace. But the bad thing about Ace is that he's mostly banned all of the ranked games. So, that's why he's that good, that he's just getting banned every single game. So Ace is definitely going to be in S tier. And then once again, all these rankings are dependent on, strategy, the ways you can get kills with these operators, and also just depending if you're solo queuing or just playing in a 5-stack for rank. This is not something crazy where it's like, pro league level kind of like thought process. It's just more of like the level of just a console rank solo queue player, or just playing a 4-stack or whatever kind of thing. So knowing that, moving on, let's go ahead and do Alibi. Alibi is fun to play. Don't get me wrong, she's fun, but I've never see her in champ levels ever. If I see Alibi in my rank games, I just think that you're throwing. And you're either probably throwing or you're just playing for fun. So I don't see any situation where Alibi would be useful, because all she does is pretty much put down decoys, and then once you shoot them on the opposite side, you just get marked for a period of time. And I don't think that's really good with how the meta is right now. So I might have to put this in D tier, honestly. And also the gun, in my opinion, is not really that good. I don't really enjoy using this gun at all for Alibi, so she's gonna be our first D tier. Amaru now. Amaru is situational in my opinion. It depends on if you want to go for like a rush play, you can pick Amaru, hop on the shotgun with the SMG 11 combo with stuns. She's really good for just getting into the building quickly and just taking space. I probably would put her in C tier, but I think Amaru is only good if you're like playing with a 5-stack and you're on cameras for this Amaru trying to take space. Other than that, you're solo queuing, it's really risky to make plays like this with Amaru. So I'm just gonna put her in C tier for now. I do really love the shotgun. I think the shotgun for her is really underrated, and a lot of people should try using it and see how it goes for you, because I definitely had a phase where I used this shotgun so many times and it's just so good. Aruni, a really good trap defender, especially with the DMR with ACOG, because ACOGs are limited now on defense. It's only for a certain amount of guns, and Aruni is likely to be one of those operators to have it. And just her util with the, what do you call her, like traps, like the Surya gates or whatever, I think, what you call it, something like that. I definitely do think she's really good. I probably wouldn't put her in S tier just because of how slow she is. I think she's more of just like a bunker and sight kind of operator, and then just kind of like hold pixel angles with a DMR. And depending on if you're a mouse and keyboard and Cronus, which I don't, I don't prefer you do that. Just play a controller like I do and just use a DMR ACOG. I think she's really good. I'm just gonna put her in A tier. I probably wouldn't put her in S tier just because how slow she is, and just only being able just to play in sight is only a good thing with her. And then plus you have the combo with barbed wire and the bulletproof, which is also really good. Ashe, she's been having her ups and downs, getting buffed, getting nerfed a lot throughout the years. I do think she's good, but I don't think she's S tier, where I think she's like really overpowered. She does have like really good util with her Ashe charge, which is pretty much like a grenade launcher for clearing util. Really good for clearing out shields or just getting rid of like barbed wire for like staircases or just entry into the site. Pretty good guns. Nothing really too crazy about her. She's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like she's kind of just so like mediocre a little bit in a way, just because of how like I just play her too much. I just feel like she gets boring from time to time. And she's really good for just, you know, she's a really fast operator, good for just entry into the building, just taking space, and then kind of just like, you know, going from there depending on what your team wants to do. And a lot of people that solo queue definitely use this operator a lot, and it's a lot of like go-to kind of operator for many people. So I don't think she's A tier, but I feel like the clearing out the util part is just so good for Ashe. But a lot of people don't really use Ashe for clearing util. They only use Ashe charges just for rushing in, which is a bad thing in my opinion. I think a lot of people should start using Ashe in a way different manner. So I'll put her in A tier. I'll put her in A tier just because she's that good in champion rank, and I've seen a lot of good Ashe players, and I've seen a lot of bad ones. It just depends on who's playing her. But you know how to play her right, she's definitely an A tier. Azami, S tier. Definitely one of the best defenders. The Kiba barriers are legit insane. The amount of site setups I see with Azami, and she's also situational. I don't think I recommend playing her for every single site, but there are so many sites like Cafe upstairs for cigars, an example. Azami Stride on there is really good. The Garage and Cash for Clubhouse is also really good. Just having just having Azami there is just, you know, so good. And she puts so much pressure for the attacking team, and if you're too lazy on attack to clear out those Azamis with either a DMR or a Flores drone or something like that, if she's still up with her Kiva barriers, it's just pretty much GG's for the round. I don't think if you can't clear her out, then she's just so good, and then she can pretty much just lock down a site for more than like the whole round, and then you can't kill her or clear her out, then it's pretty much so good for the zombie player there just to play there and kind of waste time during the round and kind of stall time and then fall back to site or whatever. Or she can just end up playing there the whole round and just killing everybody because the attacking team is just so lazy to clear her out. So she's going for S tier for me. And plus, the gun is really good with the barbed wire and impacts combo. You can play either or. Bandit now. Bandit is situational. There's the counter operator for Bandit, which is Cade here, where you can play either or Cade or Bandit for either, you know, Bandit tricking a wall, so, you know, the hard breaches like Thermite or Ace can't get them. And I rarely see Bandit players just because a lot of people don't really like playing support in champ lobbies, especially in console rank. People just like to frag out from what I've seen. So it's really rare to see a lot of Bandit players nowadays. And I do think he's good. It's just that it's like Ashe. It just depends on who's playing it. Like, you can have a Bandit that just puts down his barbed wire and put down like his bandits and just leave the site and just go roam. But if you have a good Bandit that just sits there and just sits on the breach and just Bandit tricks, he's so good. Because honestly, just getting, you know, those Ace charges off or getting the Thermites off is just the difference between winning a round and losing one. And then the attackers won't really know what to do because there's a Bandit on the board, and then it's gonna be really hard for people to clear it out. They're either gonna go for a vert play, where some sites they have verticality where you can play Buck or Sledge to go kill the Bandit or clear out the Bandit from the breach. So Bandit, I think, is, you know, it adds more depth to the attack where you have to bring all those operators just to clear the Bandit. And then you got like Maverick as well that can counter Bandit as well. So I do think Bandit is good, but I think I'm gonna put him. Do I put him in A tier? I think I'm gonna put him in A tier just from how I'm describing it. I feel like he's just that good. Blackbeard. I think, in my opinion, you know, even Blitz, like all these shield operators are all S tier. All S tier. Just because of how, you know, I feel like every time I see like a shield operator, I get so scared. Like, even though I've been playing the game for like so long now, just seeing one of these operators like Monty. Where's Monty? I might as well put Monty up here as well while I'm talking about these operators here. You know, Blackbeard, there's a Blitz, there's a Monty. If I see any of these operators on defense when I'm like trying to hold a site and I just see one of these operators, I get scared. Like, if I don't have like Ella or anything to like get rid of these shields, then I'm just cooked. I feel like I'm gonna just die. So just the amount of like presence this lineup shows is crazy. Just putting like fear in a way, like just making the other team feel uncomfortable by just bringing these operators is really good. And I feel like all these operators do that. It just depends on, you know, if the shield players being, you know, good, just being able to take that space for your team and just pretty much just standing there and just looking menace and just staring down the other team, just knowing that there's a Blackbeard, Blitz, or Monty. And then you're kind of just cooked, in my opinion, unless you have like really good teammates on defense that can double up with each other and like clear these guys out. So that's why I'm putting all three of these operators on S tier. And then we got Brava next. Brava, I think she's mid, just because of how slow. I think she might get like a buff later on in the future, but just how slow it takes for these gadgets to like wind up when she's like hacking them. It kind of like, I don't know, it takes so long to the point where if defenders are hearing the gadgets being hacked, like Maestros or like Ella Mines or Fenrirs or Melusis, it's so easy just to like hear them hacking the gadgets and just walk up and shooting the drones. I think it's like 3-4 seconds or something for the hack to actually like initiate and then work. So I'm gonna put her in B, just because of the hack being so slow. Because I'd rather recommend just playing Flores at that point, because Flores can just get rid of all those gadgets easily, and then plus it's indestructible after you decide to like blow it up. But with Brava, you actually have to like kind of hide your drone a little bit and like kind of like be aware of like how to like hack those cameras and stuff without getting your drone destroyed by the defenders. So she's gonna go in B tier. The gun is pretty good for Brava. I do like that that gun she has like with Capitão. I do think it kind of hits hard with the ACOG and like extended barrel combo. So she's gonna go in B, in my opinion. Buck. So this is tough because Buck, his opposing operator would be Sledge, just because they both do the same thing. But I do think Sledge does it a little bit better, in my opinion, because Sledge kind of has more of a potential to open up more of the wall when you're playing vert, like on the floor, than Buck does. And does Buck have flashes right now? I don't think he does. I don't remember if he does or not. Someone has to maybe quote me on that. But Buck, I think it might be like another like B tier operator, in my opinion, because I feel like Buck, I mean, the gun is good. I would put him in A tier if he had his heart breach devices still, but he got nerfed like a couple months ago. I think years, not months. A couple years ago, and then they took away his heart breach device, which he can open up like the hatches and all that. And then he can't really do it anymore, so the only thing he can really do is just play vert and then kind of set up like a push for his team. So we're just gonna put him in B tier for now. Capitão. Oh, another thing I want to talk about with Buck is sometimes it's really hard to play vert when you don't really have teammates that can help you out with roam clearing. So the only way to play Buck, in my opinion, especially when you're like solo queuing, is you have to roam clear first. You can't just go play vert and then just expect people just to like, you know, be there and you can get kills. You kind of have to like make sure you're not getting flanked and have teammates that can actually join out for roamers or just watch your flank. So that's the only reason why I don't think Buck is good, because I don't think he's worth just playing, because it's just too much work for you. And plus, just depending on the team that you have, and if you can't really roam clear, then Buck is just useless, in my opinion, because you're just gonna get flanked and then you're not gonna make any progress with the push, and you're just kind of just be sitting on vert just doing nothing, or you're just dead, and then you just wasted an operator pick where you can be like playing someone else, which can be a little bit better. So that's my take on Buck. Capitão. I like Capitão, But at the same time, I don't really see much people play Capitão. Like, I don't think Capitão is like an operator that people would just play. If anything, I would rather play Grim over Capitão. Pretty much they do the same thing, but Capitão does damage while Grim over here only, you know, scans and marks people, which is more better in my opinion. Just to put pressure and kind of like scare people off for like an area. Because I know Grim tends to be banned a lot more over Capitão because Grim is just that good. Capitão, I don't see any use for him. And the smokes as well, I don't see any point of the smoke bolts when you can just bring smoke grenades, in my opinion, which is a lot more better. And plus the fire bolts, I feel like there's other better operators you can just bring to clear out space. Like either bring grenades over the fire bolts or just bring not Capitão, bring Grim. So I probably put Capitão in C tier, just because he's kind of like mediocre. Castle. If you watch my videos, you know how much I think of Castle. Castle is good, but he should not be played for every single site. He recently got a buff where the UMP does a lot more damage. So his gun is so good, in my opinion, now. And plus, he also has the shotgun for his secondary, so he can make rotates and set up site for his team, which is really good when you're, you know, playing in a high rank. Just being able to set up the site correctly is really good. Making rotates and feed holes, head holes that you need. And he has the proxy alarms and also the bulletproof devices. And Capitão, he's only situational for certain sites. For example, the cache and CC for Clubhouse. I'm trying to think of other sites. The Villa site for downstairs is another good one for Castle. It just depends on the site. I sometimes think Castle can also work for the other team as well if you kind of set up the castles correctly, or incorrectly, excuse me. So I'll probably put Castle. It's one of these two, A or B. I don't think it's like a big difference bringing Castle to like how I was like explaining, for example, you know, the Bandit. If you bring Bandit, then, you know, if you can ace charge, or if you can Bandit trick the ace charges and the thermites, then it's a big difference between winning the round or not. I wouldn't say that for Castle if you don't bring it or not. So I'm just gonna put it in B tier. Cav, D tier, no explanation. It's gonna be really hard to pull off interrogations in champion rank when people pretty much bundle up together and then a lot of people are just droning. And, you know, it's gonna be really hard to interrogate when people are just next to each other most of the time. And then it's, you know, it's just gonna be like a refrag every time you down somebody. So Cav is just useless. Kind of like Alibi in my opinion, just a fun operator to play, but useless gadget. Nothing really there for your team. Doesn't really do much. If I see you playing one of these two operators, I think you're just throwing. So I'm putting Cav in D tier. And plus, she's a good roamer, kind of, but I'd rather just play Vigil because Vigil pretty much does the same thing as Cav, but a little bit better. I mean, not the same thing, but like, you know, the roaming presence, just being able to roam. Cav is made for that, but Vigil is a lot more better. So we're putting Cav in D tier. Clash, S tier. Same as these other three. I forgot about Clash. Shield operators, really annoying to deal with. Kind of just standing there menacingly, putting pressure for your team, kind of scaring them off. So Clash is going to be an S tier. No explanation for that. Deimos, he's either C or B for me, because I kind of like playing him. It's kind of like Jackal, where he's like a roam clearing kind of operator. But honestly, I'd rather recommend playing just Jackal, because I like Jackal just to look at footprints and just knowing when someone's like in the area, and I'm like more aware of that. But for Deimos, you can only know where one person is, because for Jackal you can see multiple footprints and be like, oh, you can like put 2 and 2 together, just knowing there's gonna be like multiple people roaming. Or if you're like pushing the downstairs site and then this roamer's on the 3rd floor, you can play Jackal, go upstairs, and then you can kind of like roam clear and kind of see if there's like multiple people upstairs or just one person. And then based on how many footprints you see, you can just track those people and then see where they are. The tracks got a little bit nerfed, but I think they're still kind of good. Just being able to see the footprints is just good in my opinion. So that alone is good. And then going back to Deimos, you know, like I said with Jackal, it's just roam clearing, but Deimos can only track one person at a time. And you have to be really good with that pistol. Like, if you don't know how to use that pistol and you can't aim, then you're pretty much cooked, because I think the pistol is pretty much where it's at with Deimos. So honestly, I might just do like 2 and 2 here. I might let's put Deimos in C tier. Actually, no, I feel like he's B tier. Let's put him in B tier, and then I think I'm gonna put Jackal in A tier as well, but I'm just gonna move him like a little bit more forward, kind of just next to Deimos. I'd rather just play Jackal in my opinion, because these two operators are just good. They're good, but I need them to like be on a good like person that can like actually use these operators, because roam clearing is so good. Just being able to like shut down like that flank, what do you call it, like the flank, I can't think of the word for like the term of it, but just being able to kill the roamers and flankers is just so good for these two. So we're gonna put these guys in B tier. Denari, this is the most recent operator I think that just came out, and he's pretty good. I do think you kind of have to be like a little bit creative with your setup with Denari, just because it's kind of like it's like a mini cat cam in a way, I would say. But if you're creative and know how to like put down your traps, I do think he's really good. But I don't think he's like that crazy to like pick over to like, you know, we need Denari if we want to win this round. I don't think he's really that kind of operator. So I would put him in B tier. He's fun. His gun is really good. You know how to use the Scorpion. I do really think he's good. And the shotgun, it recently got a buff as well where it kind of does damage, but I don't really see people using the shotgun as much. And he has the gadget of he has barbed wire and the we would call it the deployable shield. So that's also really good. So we put him B tier. Doc is like all these healing operators. I don't really, I mean, it does make a difference whenever you are low health, and then it also depends on the Doc player. And if Doc is dying in the first like minute, just spawn peeking, then you're cooked. But if Doc is actually just sitting in sight, kind of just playing for his team, and then whenever someone's like lit up, you can go back to site and get a Doc stim. That'd be really good. But I do think the counter pick to Doc is Thunderbird, because they pretty much do the same thing. It's just that I feel like Thunderbird does it a little bit better in my opinion, just because if Doc dies, then you don't have the heals anymore. But if Thunderbird dies, then she still has her healing stations in sight that she placed down, so a lot of people can still get healed when the person dies. So that's good. So I'd rather have a Thunderbird over Doc. And plus Thunderbird is she like a 2 armor? I believe she's a 2 armor, 2 speed, so she can either bunker inside or roam. So like I said, with the roaming, if she dies, the healing stations are just fine there. And she also got buff as well with the shotgun, so she also has a secondary shotgun like Doc does to make rotates in sight. So I do think Thunderbird is way better than Doc. So I would put, honestly, and plus the bearing 9 too, you can do like a shotgun, because she has a shotgun for her primary, so you can do shotgun and bearing 9 combo, which I've seen a lot. Honestly, I would put Thunderbird. Do I put her in A? I do feel like it does make a difference if you have a healing operator on your team, because if you're lit up from roaming, you go back to site and get stimmed up to 100, you're just pretty much like a new operator in a way, and that could be the difference between winning a round or not. So I'm gonna put Thunderbird in A, and then I might give Doc a B tier, because I do think Thunderbird is so good, but I think she's also just underrated. I do think a lot of people should play her more. Dokkaebi, do I put her in S tier? She's so good for the calls and just the meta right now of SMG 12. People just running around with that gun, calling people, and then just swinging off of the calls. I don't want to put her in S tier, but I'm just gonna put her in S tier, because I think if you have a really good Dokkaebi player, it's just, actually no, I'm just gonna put her in A tier, because I don't think she's on these levels as these other players, or not players, operators. So we'll put Dokkaebi in A. Echo recently got a buff. Now he has 3 drones, which is crazy. But like I said, it's rank and it's console. A lot of people are not going to sit inside and just play Echo and just get on cams the whole time. So I rarely see Echo players that much in rank unless I'm playing like the top 5 champ stack of the season, and they usually bring a lot of util to win games. I probably see a lot of passionate teams play Echo, but if you're like a casual rank player, I doubt you'll see Echo players, especially when you're solo queuing as well. I do think he's good. He does make a difference in the round if you can deny plant, which is what he's meant for. You pretty much set up the site and then you hide in a corner, either downstairs or just inside somewhere where they can't kill you. And then when they go for a plant, he's such a really good last minute kind of operator where he can just pretty much win the round off his yokai drones alone. So for just that, I'm gonna give him A tier, just because he's that good. And also, like I said, with all these operators, depending on how and you use them and the people that play them, it just depends on who's playing it. But from just like a standpoint of like what they can actually do, and I'd rather just put him A tier. Okay, wow, this is gonna be a long video. If you're still here, I appreciate you. Leave a like, I appreciate it. Ella, I'm biased. I love Ella. I play her like so much. She's like probably my most played operator because I do think she's that good. I think I put her either A or S. But knowing me, I'll put her in S, but I put her in A. I put her in A because I think Ella is so good for clearing out these operators here. Like, you know how I was talking about how these operators pretty much, you know, are really good for just clearing out space and just taking space and just making people run away and put pressure on the other team. I do think Ella, if you pocket an Ella mine, you can throw the Ella mines at these operators, and then once the concussion goes off, their shield kind of like flies back, and that's like a perfect time for Ella to swing, and plus she's a high fire rate gun, and then with the gun you can pretty much go for a headshot and it's just a free pick on these operators. So that's why I do think Ella is so good, just because she denies these 3 picks in my opinion. And then you can also make the argument that these operators, well, you can just bring a nitro cell, but the nitro cells are like a 50-50, kind of like with Ella. It depends on how much health they have, and also if they position their shields correctly to block out the C4s or the Ella mines. So it definitely just depends on what's happening at the time. But most of the time, every time I see a shield operator, I'm really comfortable playing Ella. I just know I have pretty much, like, you know, the win con there. It's just me walking up to the shield and just throwing an Ella mine, and then just waiting for the thing to pretty much blow up and then just shoot the shields in the face, and then it's a free pick. Let's just go to the next one. Fenrir. I do think Fenrir is an A tier, just because he's so good with his traps. Just because if you're stepping into the Fenrirs, you're pretty much blinded. You have like a purple smoke around you until you either get out of the range of the Fenrir device or you shoot them. And knowing rank and people that play, a lot of people are not playing Twitch or Flores to clear out these Fenrir's devices. And then IQ is also really good to clear out Fenrir's, but you never see people play those operators to clear out Fenrir's at all. Like, especially when you're playing against a team that just a lot of people just solo queuing with. Fenrir is so good. But if you're playing against like a 5-stack, I wouldn't recommend playing Fenrir, just because those 5-stacks are really passionate, and then all it takes is just bringing IQ and Twitch, and then just getting rid of all those Fenrirs. But Fenrir, most of the time, is really good, but I'd rather just give it an A tier for now. Maybe I might bring it back to B, but we'll keep it an A. Finka, I don't think Finka's that good, especially when you're attacking, because the healing doesn't really do that good compared to like Doc and Thunderbird on defense. I think Finka only heals like 20-30 health, I'm pretty sure, and she only has 3 stims. I don't think she's that good for attackers, and most of the time when the attackers died, it's pretty much just them rushing to the site and just dying. And it's really rare to find attackers in the position where they're down, and you're gonna have to like res them by just using a Finka boost. So I don't think Finka's that good. I'm probably gonna put her in C tier because I don't see a way where Finka can win rounds for your team. Because I don't think healing to like 20 HP doesn't really, it's not really much. It's not as good as like Doc and like Thunderbird. So she's gonna go in C tier. Flores, easy S tier, in my opinion, just because he's so good with clearing out util, which is really crucial in rank, but a lot of people are so lazy and like not that kind of a player to play Flores. I do think just having this character be able to like counter pretty much all these operators here is so good. And then plus you have 4 of these, you have stuns, a really good gun. And if you're just the type of person that's willing to clear out util, I recommend just playing Flores. Kind of like going back to what I was saying with Brava, she pretty much does the same thing with Flores, but I think Flores does it a lot more better. And Brava kind of, she only has like, she has 2 drones, right? Not 3. She has 2 drones, so it doesn't really, I wouldn't really say she's really good compared to Flores. So Flores is going to S tier for me. Frost, I don't see a world where Frost can be good. The only time I can see Frost being good is, the only times I'd be using her is for Villa, for the either the statue site when you're putting frost mats on the windows for the hop-ins for closet and the master windows and bathroom. And also I only play Frost only on Outback as well when you're holding down garage with a shield. So C tier. I don't think I ever use Frost as much. And I don't think people should be anyways, because the Frost mats don't really do much. Like, she's a trap operator, but I recommend just playing a better trap. So she's going C tier. Fuze. I don't know what Fuze. I'll probably say either B or C. Similar to Buck, Fuze is just useless and you can't roam clear. The both operators where you have to play vert and just clearing out the util is so good with Fuze, but I'd rather just play Flores over that. And it's so risky just being able to clear space and kind of just make sure you don't get flanked and die. So I'd rather just let's put him in C tier. Like, it's the same concept as Flores, just clearing out util and getting space for your team and just getting rid of traps and just having, you know, that walk-in. But for Fuze, you have to waste time more and you have to like kind of roam clear, drone, and then make sure you don't get flanked. So it's literally, it's gonna be so hard to just play vert with this operator. So we're just gonna put Fuze in C tier. Glaz is situational. Glaz, you can make the debate of putting him into D tier, but I'm gonna put him in C because I do think if you have a really good combo of Glaz, like you can do like a smoke grenade and then you can see through the smoke just shooting people that walk up. I do think he can kind of win rounds for you by just doing that from time to time, but I don't think he's that good to like pick him every time and kind of do the same thing over and over again to win rounds. So we're putting Glaz in C tier. Goyo, I'm gonna have to put Goyo S tier. S tier or A tier, but I think I'm leaning towards more for S tier. Goyo is so good because the amount of time wasting you can do at the end of the round is so good. For example, take Oregon upstairs. You can put pretty much 3 Goyos on the doorway for trophy door walk-in, and then usually, you know, whenever teams take forever to push into the site and they usually do like a last minute push, Goyo is there just to kind of deny that, and he does make a big difference in like winning the round or not. And like a rush plant or something, you can use your Goyos to barricade doorways or put Goyos on like plant denial spots and then kind of just pop them whenever they go for a plant. And then the fires, they last so long, and also they do a lot of damage. So Goyo is going for S tier. And also really good gun, high fire rate for the Vector, and also impacts for roaming. So you can definitely do a lot with Goyo. So that's why he's S tier for me. Gridlock is definitely going to be A tier, just because she denies the flank for defenders and you're too lazy to roam clear. You can just take the space that you need for vert and then kind of just put your Gridlocks on the stairwells or the flank, and then they won't be able to walk up, because usually you're gonna either have to shoot all those Gridlocks off and then walk up, and then by the time you do that, the attackers will hear you shooting the Gridlocks, and then they'll come over to kill you. So Gridlock's gonna go A tier. But yeah, like I was saying with Gridlock, I do think she's good. And then her other operator that you would want to play is Nomad. But Nomad, I feel like she does it worse, in my opinion, because it's so easy just to shoot the air jabs whenever you place them on doorways. And I've seen so many times where we lose rounds because either the Nomad doesn't know how to place the air jabs, and then the guy flanking just shoots them and kills like everyone on vert. So we're gonna go ahead and do Nomad for B. And then I do think Gridlock is that good. Plus she has nades as well, so you can clear out util with Gridlock as well, like barbed wire or like Melusi's or Fenrir's. So Gridlock is definitely a lot more better, in my opinion. Good gun, secondary shotgun as well. A lot of what do you call it? Like the tracks for the flank. So A tier Gridlock, and then B tier Nomad. Grim, S tier. I don't know why this operator is not nerfed yet. The fact that he has 5 of these Grims, and the fact that it takes that long for the bees to go away is insane to me. And plus he has EMPs and hard breach device, so you can play either or for support, or just get vert for yourself, or open up a wall. Really good gun. Bailiff shotgun. This is definitely one of the best attackers in my opinion right now, and I don't know why he's not nerfed. This operator is so good, and it's just the fact that he can just like deny like area coverage. Like you shoot Grims in an area, then people are just running away because they're so scared just playing on the bees, just getting scanned. So he definitely puts a lot of pressure, and that's really good. So Grim is going S tier. Hibana. Hibana is gonna go, where did I rank all the other hard breachers? I think she might be B tier. I would say, I think I have to put her in B, because I think she's definitely the worst for the hard breachers, because usually it's Ace, Thermite, and then Hibana. And then once all those 3 are banned, you start playing like Striker or something. Because Hibana, she's only good for getting hatches, and most of the time those hatches are either kitted off, or I recommend just playing someone that has like hard breach devices, because like I said, there's just more util there. Like for example, Grim has hard breach, and plus you also have his gadget with the Grims, and then there's like a nut operator I was mentioning earlier, Striker here. He has the ability to bring hard breach and either pick it like a nade or stun for himself. And then there's someone else, like I was explaining, Buck with the hard breach when he used to have it, and then playing vert. Like you get what I'm saying here. Like Hibana, she can get multiple hatches, but it's not really necessary. I just do think it's more better to have a combination of an operator that has a really good gadget already, and then bringing hard breach devices in place for Hibana, because there's more you can get out of those operators than Hibana. So that's why I think she's B tier. Iana, not the best. The decoys are really not that good. I do wish it's kind of more like Alibi, when you shoot those decoys that she has whenever she is on a clone, it gets like a red scan or like a mark on somebody. That'll be like a nice little buff for Iana in my opinion. I do think she's like the best operator when it comes to dealing with clash. For that alone, I'm gonna give her B tier, because with Hibana, or excuse me, not Hibana, she's like right next to the icon, so I just said Hibana. But Iana, I think she's really good dealing with clash, just because she has the Gong 6, and I do think the Gong 6 is like the best way to deal with clash whenever she's putting down like a shield, because the Ash charges, for example, when you shoot an Ash charge, it's so easy for clash to just pick up the shield and kind of like deny that shield being broken by the Ash charge. But with the Gong 6, you can just shoot the gun at the shield, and it's gonna break instantly. There's no like wait time for it to detonate. And then you can also make like an argument that Zofia can do the same thing as well. But the one thing that Zofia doesn't have is EMPs. So it's a lot more easier to walk up on the clash whenever you want to try to get more close and personal. So you have like, a lot of diversity with Iana for just clearing out clash. And clash is definitely one of the hardest operators to get rid of in the game whenever they do have it. And then just bringing Iana with EMPs to either walk up and throw the EMP at the shield, and it kind of like denies the the electricity thing. You can walk up, punch the shield, and start shooting her in the feet and killing her like that. Or when she is playing more safe and having the shield out and she's kind of like behind it, you can use the Gong 6 to get rid of the shield. So that's why I do think Iana is definitely the best. Yes, there's multiple ways of going at it with Clash. Moving on. IQ. IQ is good, but is there any point if you don't have any other teammates to help you out with those scans that you're providing them for? Like, it's good just knowing if there's a cat cam or like a trap operator that you need to know if there's one on the board or not. But like I said earlier, I do think IQ is good if you can combine it with other operators like Flores or Twitch, just clearing out util for your team. You can have like a teammate just sitting on IQ marking stuff, and then you can either have Twitch or Flores kind of just get rid of all those util for you. So I don't think she's that good, especially when you're solo queuing. I don't recommend playing her because the util is just useless, and you're just kind of just be marking something for like non-stop and pretty much doing nothing for your team. She's pretty good at fragging, good guns, grenades, and all that. So she's gonna go for B tier for me, just because she doesn't really bring much to the team, in my opinion, unless you have a team that can, you know, benefit off of the IQ. Jäger. Jäger is a B tier because I do think, where's Wamai? I'm gonna put Wamai in A tier because I think Wamai is a lot more better than Jäger. They both do the same thing where they deny stun grenades or any util that's flying in. They could pretty much just destroy all the stuff that's gonna be thrown in. And I only think Wamai is better just because he has a shotgun and also he has impacts. So he can either roam, he can set the site, but Jäger, he has 3 ADSs, so you had to pretty much spend all of prep phase putting down all your Jäger devices, and then you can't really do much. And then you're pretty much just standing there wondering what you want to do with Jäger. And, you know, with Wamai, he's pretty much like an on, like, what do you call it? Like a to-go kind of Jäger thing where he can kind of just place down Jäger devices pretty much anywhere in a way. So I do think Wamai is definitely A tier, and then we'll put Jäger in B tier. Okay. Cade. Where would I want to put Cade? Cade is good. He's kind of up there with Bandit. I do think Cade does make a difference between winning a game or not, and he does get banned a lot. I do want to put him in S tier, just because he's just that good. It's so easy to counter Cade though by just bringing EMPs to another team, but if you know how to play Cade and kind of like Cade trick walls and kind of like place Cade claws where it's gonna be really hard to get those Cades off, then Cade is gonna be so good for you. But I do think I'll bring him to A tier, just because it's so easy, in my opinion, just to get rid of those Cade claws. I don't think there's like really good. Actually, no, I do have somebody I want to put in S tier, which we'll get to in a bit. Callie. Callie's a C tier. Kind of a Glaz. They're kind of both on the same level. I wouldn't put her in D tier just because she does have potential of actually helping the team, unlike these two, because she does have the grenade launcher, kind of like how Ash does, but it sucks that she has like a sniper. I think the sniper kind of like, you know, pulls her away from like a lot of people, so that's why she's going to C tier and not, you know, D tier. And next one, Cat Cam. He's annoying, definitely. I might put him in B tier. He's not the best trap, just because of how easy it is just to like look around doorways whenever you're going in to the building and all that. But sometimes a lot of people are lazy to check doorways, and you might get some picks here and there. But Capcam, kind of like all these operators, just, you know, situational, depends on where you're placing them and how you're playing the operator. So Capcam's going in B tier. Legion. Legion's good. I don't know if like a lot of people have like a lot of opinions on Legion, just because there's so many ways you can use Legion. You can either use them for you know, putting down Legion Mines on windows, so it's hard for people to hop in. It's definitely a big counter to the shield as well. It's kind of just slowing them down. We'll just put him in A tier. He's like really good trap opper with a good gun, a lot of util, 8 goo mines, I think. So that's a lot of traps just to have on your team. Is so good. I probably would put him in S tier, but he doesn't have a shotgun anymore. He used to have the shotgun to make rotates, but now he doesn't. So that's why I'm kind of like not wanting to play Legion that much, because it's really hard to set up the site. Because whenever I'm solo queuing, I want to be able to set up the site how I want to do it, because it's like, you know, I'm like, I don't want to sound like I have an ego or anything, but I pretty much know everything in the game, and I know how easy it is to win rounds. So like compared to like my other teammates that kind of like don't really know much. So I want to be the one that's able to set up the site and make the right rotates and headles and feedles that we need. And just not having that shotgun there, it kind of sucks. So that's why he's gonna be an A tier. Lion, not gonna lie, he just got a buff where he has 3 seconds when you call to make people stand still. I do think he's A tier, just because he has a DMR that you can use to clear the zombies, stun grenades, frag grenades, claymores, and then, you know, DMR, like I said, is really good. And plus the big buff that he got, I do think he's A tier, just because it's so easy just to have people just play this operator and then kind of make them just stand still. And then you can either combine this operator with, you know, Deimos or Jackal, stuff like that, to just kill warmers as well. Is so good. So Lion, A tier. Maestro, I would put him in D tier, just because I don't fucking ever see anyone use Maestro ever. Like, I don't remember the last time I've seen a Maestro player. It's been like years. But I'll put him in C tier, because like I said, he actually does have some kind of value a little bit, but not that crazy amount of value. Not like useless as these two, in my opinion. So he's going C tier. And the only reason why is because he's kind of like Echo in a way, where he's more of like a sit back in sight and kind of just get on cameras kind of operator. But with Maestro, it's so easy just to counter him by just bringing Brava and Flores. So that's why he's going C tier. Maverick, S tier. Definitely. Because it's so good to get rid of bandits and get rid of K-Claws and just bring this operator to fully get open the wall. Because it helps support the ace, helps supports the thermite, and then plus just playing this operator just to put pressure on walls by just making like small holes in them is so good. So Maverick is going S tier. And plus I think he's got his nades back too or something, right? So S tier. And he's really good at clearing util with those nades. Melusi, in my opinion, is definitely my go-to operator when I need someone with traps, just because she has the shotgun, the impacts, the 3-4 Melusis that she has, and plus she's a 3 armor, so you can just bunker in sight with her, and it's so good. And like I said earlier, the other team is so lazy to bring like Flores or Brava. You're pretty much just winning, because your Melusi alone are just gonna stop the push from happening. Put her in S tier. Especially when I'm just thinking like solo queuing champ lobbies, right? If you don't have a team that can clear this out, then you're just winning. It's already just written in the books that you're just gonna win. So we'll see. Mira, I would put Mira in maybe S or A, because I feel like it's so easy to get rid of Miras with Ash or Twitch down here, and then or just playing like Buck going underneath and getting rid of a Mira. But Mira is good because she just kind of just sits there and kind of just stares at people on the other side of the mirror, and kind of just like has like that presence of pressure for the attacking team. And then they're gonna be like, oh, there's a mirror here. We have to go underneath or go play vert or bring Ash over to get rid of the mirror if you want to enhance our push. Actually, no, I'm gonna put her in S tier just because of how I'm explaining her. I do think she's that good. Mozzie, C tier. I was thinking about putting him in D, but he recently got a buff, but I don't think the shotgun really makes a difference. And plus also the Mozzie pets with the drones and all that, I'd rather just play Valkyrie. It's pretty much like cameras they can have for your team on defense, but Valkyrie does that job a lot more better than Mozzie, because you're kind of depending on those drones to walk into those Mozzie pets. So, and I think Valkyrie They both do the same thing, but Valkyrie does it a lot more better. Mew, S tier. One of the best defenders on attack, or defenders on attack. What am I saying? Best defenders on defense. And the reason why is because you can pretty much deny Twitch drones, you can deny Flores drones, and it just pretty much protects your util. So Mew is S tier. Shotgun combo with the SMG-11 and Nitro Cell is so good. And now he's a 2 armor, so you can mix between either bunkering in sight or just roaming. And he's an easy S tier in my opinion. Knock. I think Knock is D tier. D or C? It's situated. I don't know. I'm like torn between these two. Because Knock, the only thing she's really good at is bypassing cameras. But at the same time, who's getting on cameras on, you know, on your team? I rarely see anyone sit on cameras unless you're playing against like a top 10 champ stack or whatever, like I said, that are passionate. But, you know, just teammates in rank, they're never sitting on camera, so this character is just useless. There's no point of just playing this operator because there's no one in cameras on the first place anyways. You might get them here and there, but I don't think it's, you know, that big of a difference to win rounds. Oryx, useless, D tier. All he does is walk into walls and dash in front of people. Useless in my opinion. He has a really like interesting passive too, where he can climb the hatches, so he can either like go from floor to floor and then, you know, flank easily. But other than that, he's a D tier. Doesn't really make a difference. Osa. I'm not really sure of Osa. Osa, either C or B. Let's put her in B. She has a really good gadget where she has like a shield, and it's like a mini mirror in a way, but for attack. And then you can use these shields to go for plants, or pretty much, you know, sit outside and protect the plant by sitting on the shield. So she's gonna be in B tier. She has EMPs, grenades, and then also Thermite's gun or Jackal's SMG, which I think are pretty good. So we'll put Osa in B tier. Pulse. I think I'm gonna put Pulse in B or C. I'm gonna put him in B. I don't think he kind of belongs down here. I think Pulse is so good because you can pretty much just sit downstairs and just, you know, mark people for your team. And also, if you want to flank up and like C4 somebody, you pretty much can do that. I wouldn't put him down here because I feel like all these operators are kind of like, you know, useless, but I don't think he's useless. I feel like he kind of like you see a pulse when you're attacking, you'd be like, oh, there's a pulse. We have to like spend some time roam clearing. And that's kind of like good by itself because you're either going to roam clear the pulse and waste time. And if it's a good pulse player, you can kind of waste like 2 minutes or like a minute and a half. And then you're pretty good. Or you have a pulse that just dies instantly and it's useless. So he's kind of like in the middle. But if you actually have a good pulse and he wastes his time, it's that good. So we put him in B tier. Ram. I forgot about Ram, not gonna lie. I do think he's like but I think she's like the best when it comes to making vert. Because she has the R4C, she has stun grenades, she has the vert potential to make a lot of vert. I'm gonna put her in A, above Buck. They do the same thing, but Ram does it better. Rora, situational, kind of like Castle, but it's on attack where she puts down barricades that are indestructible unless you either break them with either an impact or something like kind of explosive, kind of similar to Castle. So I'll probably put her B tier. Don't really think it makes a difference in winning the round, but I mean, it kind of does if you plan out, you know, your plays with your team. But like I said, I don't think she's really that good for like a rank kind of like scenario for like console. So I rarely even see people play Roar either, unless you're in a 5-stack. B tier. Rook. C tier. It's nice to have the additional, you know, 25 health or whatever it is, 20 health, but I don't think it's that good. And plus, he has the, he got like a gun or something. I don't remember what gun it was. Oh yes, Nitro Cells. That's what he got. It wasn't a gun. He has Nitro Cell now, which is kind of like, It doesn't really make sense for Rook, in my opinion, because you can't really... I don't know what you would do with that Nitro Cell with this kind of like gadget, because usually people with Nitro Cells are like operators that can kind of like combine their gadgets with or whatever, but Rook kind of doesn't really make sense. But we'll just put him in C tier. Because I don't know. Does that really make a difference with 20 extra health? It's kind of like Finka to me. Like just having like that extra 20 health, does it really make a difference? I don't know. I just put it in C. Sense, I don't know. Sense is useless in my opinion. Just bring smoke grenades. It's pretty much like a thing where they throw like a wall. It's like a Viper wall from Valorant where you kind of just like have like smokes pretty much clearing out line of sight for the defenders when you're trying to plan or something. Useless in my opinion. Just bring smoke grenades and just have someone way better with like astral gadgets. Sentry? Yeah, this is Sentry. This is Striker. Sentry, I'll probably put in A tier because defending, you can bring barbed wire. You can bring a lot of util for your setup, shields, pretty much anything. So A tier for Sentry. Scopos. This is tough because I might put her in S tier or A because she's that annoying to deal with when you're playing against a Scopos player. Like she's that good with roaming. Like I do think Vigil and Scopos are that good. And plus that she can like switch between different robots and have like, you know, you can have like different HP and then you can like save HP and all that. And you can also use her shield for either, you know, holding a sight or either having a camera somewhere, just watching plant or something. I think she's a really good solo queue operator. I might be weird. I'm going to put her in S tier. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to put Vigil in A tier because they kind of both do their jobs of roaming and all that, putting pressure on the people kind of like roam clearing. So I do think Scopos kind of does it a little bit more annoyingly. And Vigil, he's actually, I'm not saying that he's bad because Scopos is really good, but he's pretty good too. But just the fact that you can just not be seen by cameras when you're getting droned out on, and then it's gonna be really hard to find this Vigil. I do think he's A tier just because of that. And then Scopos, in my opinion, is a lot more annoying to deal with. In my opinion, because it's just so annoying to deal with it. From what I experienced. Sledge. Sledge, I probably put in B tier. I think kind of similar to Iana, she kind of does like the same thing. I would put her in, or I would put Sledge in C, not gonna lie, because of, actually no, we'll keep Sledge in B. All what I'm saying. Sledge and Buck, they do the same thing, but just the fact that Sledge also has like that that factor of denying clash as well is so good because you can sledgehammer clash and then it's just broken when you're walking up on her, and plus he also has the EMP as well to get rid of the clash. So Iana and Sledge are definitely a go-to, but I honestly do think Sledge is a little bit better than Iana when it comes to dealing with clash. So there's that. When it comes to making vert as well and just entering so fast, just breaking like breaches or whatever, Sledge is that. Solus kind of like similar to IQ in a way, kind of just like there just to mark people and don't really do much in my opinion. It's really good if you can like combine it with like a bunch of stuff, like have people like flank or I don't know what, like deny plant as well, just having someone C4 over when you're calling out their planning or something. Kind of similar to IQ. I'm just gonna put her in B tier. Smoke, A tier because you can deny plant with smoke. Kind of similar to Goyo a little bit, but I think Goyo does it a little bit better. Smoke, you can kind of just sit there in sight and kind of just deny plant with the smoke canisters. And then if you're dead with smoke, you're kind of just useless. But Goyo, if you die, you have your canisters still up, so you can have other teammates shoot the canisters, and it doesn't really rely dependent on smoke. So there's that. Striker, S tier, in my opinion. Definitely one of the best attackers and really underrated because I rarely even see people play Striker. And if you do watch my solo queue videos, you know how really impactful Striker is and how much I talk about him so much and praise him. So he's an S tier for me. Just because you can bring EMPs and hard breach for yourself, so you're like a mini Thatcher and Ace in a way, so you can get the breach open when you don't have any support players on your team. And if you want to frag out, you can bring stun grenades, and you can bring frag grenades to clear util for yourself, and then also use those stun grenades to take space and just walk into site or take space upstairs or something for like vert play or something. And that's why Striker has so much like playstyles to him, so he's S tier for me. Tachanka, I would put him in D tier, but he does have some kind of like factor into winning the round, kind of similar to like Smoke but worse, so he's gonna be like brought down like 2 levels from Smoke. The launches kind of take forever to like go off, kind of take long to deploy. The guns are not really that good in my opinion, and that's why he's gonna be C tier. Thatcher, not gonna lie, since he got buffs, like with the new change that he got, I do think he's S tier. Just having a Thatcher get rid of like bandits or Cades, or just clearing out the, what do you call it, the Malusis and traps whenever you try to like go for like a rush or something and just walk in the site is so good. And plus now with like how I was saying earlier with like, you know, the Soulless, if you try to get Nitro Cell whenever you're planning, you can play Thatcher to EMP those Nitro Cells, and then whenever your teammates are planning and then the defenders are throwing a Nitro Cell over, you can use the EMPs from the Thatcher to deny that, and then you get the plant down, and then that's a really big difference in winning the round. Thermite, A tier. I do have Ace and S tier like I was saying earlier, so Thermite's gonna go in A tier. Second best breacher. He does have 3 now and a shotgun, but I don't think it really puts him over Ace in my opinion. The gun is kind of like lacking. I feel like a lot of people say his gun is not really the best, and a lot of people kind of like are put off from Thermite because of the gun, so he's gonna go in A tier. Thorn, she recently got a buff as well. I don't know, I think it's a little bit too soon to put her like in A tier, because I really even get to see her that much, because I haven't really been playing much with the new update. So for now, I'm gonna put her in B tier, but I do think she could be in A tier. Her detonations can go off a lot more faster. They do damage. They pretty much, it's like a mini Nitro Cell in a way, like a pocket Nitro Cell, and you have 4 of them too. So you can use those traps to deny plant. Like you can pocket those gadgets and then just wait last minute to throw them around the site, and then just pretty much deny the walk-in and plant with Thorn. So I do think I need to see more of that until I can put her in A tier. But for now, we'll put her in B tier. Two Brow. I don't know. Did I put him S tier? I do think he's that good. I'm putting him S tier. Two Brow is so good for just denying wall, and then you can combine Two Brow with Cade and Bandit. But at the same time, I doubt you'll have people to play Two Brow for you. Like, you want to play Two Brow just to play him. Like, first you want to see either a Cade or Bandit first on the board, and then that's when you pick Two Brow. And I feel that's when a lot of people play him, because once they start noticing the Cade and Bandit, then you know that they're going to be playing the wall, and then that's when you can bring Two Brow to help them out. It's kind of like Thatcher in a way, where you see, like, you want to pick Thatcher if you don't see like a Bandit or, you know, an Ace. They're both like really similar, and I think they both do really great with what they do, so S tier for me. Twitch, either S or A. I'm putting her in A, just because, not gonna lie, the gun kind of like scares people away because of how hard it is. But once you learn how to use the gun, she's really good. And then just that she can clear util, besides like Malusis, is kind of annoying, but just because she can't clear Malusis, I'm gonna put her in A tier. Valkyrie, A tier. I was kind of speaking on her a little bit with the Mozzie thing, where they both do the same thing by bringing cameras. And a lot of people don't really shoot cameras on enchant lobbies for console rank. So I think Valkyrie is just so good just to have, and just being able to like use it like last minute, just knowing where people are, yellow marking or red marking for your teammates. It does make a difference in like knowing where people are, and then being able to win the round off of that information. So A tier for me. Warden. This is tough, because Warden, I would rather put him either A or S. I'm putting him A, because I do think Warden, like, you just see Warden just playing like in a position where he's like holding down an area. I wouldn't push him because he's either going to be playing around the corner with a shotgun, and once you swing him, you're dead, or you're just going to die to his SMG-12 by just how good it is. And then I do think he's, like, with how the meta is right now, he's definitely A tier. So, that's that. Ying. Similar to Grim, but I do think Grim does a little bit better. It's kind of like a thing where she, like, throws down, like, a gadget and then kind of takes space with it by being flashed out by the defenders. I rarely see people play Ying, and then that's where Warden comes in as well to counter the Ying. But I do think she's A tier. Nothing really too crazy to where I would put her in S tier, in my opinion. Just because of how much I rarely see this operator in rank. So she's going in A. And plus she also can get denied by the Jäger and the Wamai over here. Zero. I don't know. Zero kind of like similar to Valkyrie. They both shoot cameras, place cameras around the map, and then your teammates can get on those cameras. But kind of like how I was saying with Knock, I don't really know a situation where you would have teammates sitting on cameras for you, unless you like make a call out in game chat that you need someone on this camera. So I put him in B tier just because I feel like it's so overwhelming too when he has like 5 of those cameras, and then once you go into like the menu where you're just going through the cameras and you see all 5 of those like slots open up, it's gonna be really overwhelming to like go back and forth between all those cameras, and plus all the default ones as well. So B tier for me. And then another thing too, you can kind of use the cameras for zapping out like util with Twitch, but Twitch does it a lot more better. So let's put in B tier. Zofia, B tier. This is the last one. I think it's similar to Ashe in a way, but I think Ashe does it better, and Ashe is a lot more faster to take space. Zofia is more of like a safe bet of just like kind of like, you know, playing back a little bit more and clearing out util with the impacts and stun grenades. But I don't think she's that really big to like make a big difference in the game, so she's going to B tier. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good list. You can make arguments that, you know, operators can be like different here and there, but this is my opinion. This is what I think from what I've been through for like 11 years and what I've been seeing recently as well, and just, you know, on a level of ranked solo queue or just rank casually playing in console lobbies, this is what I think is best, and I do think this is correct in my opinion. And, you know, you can be from like PC and you can make an argument that one is better than the other or something like that, but from what I've seen and experienced, this is what we have. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it was informative. Had some fun out of it. I had some fun making this. This is the most I've talked in so long. It's an hour video, holy. But yeah, like I said earlier, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.